Curious about the questions that leave narcissists speechless? Stick around, and I'll unveil them for you. Here are 5 core questions narcissists can't answer. 1. Anything involving the truth. For narcissists, the truth is a malleable concept, one they mold to fit their narrative and serve their agenda. Confronting them with facts or challenging their version of events is met with resistance, deflection, or outright denial. Their pathological lying knows no bounds, extending even to situations where honesty seems the obvious choice. This propensity for deception is deeply ingrained, serving as a means to control others, manipulate outcomes, and preserve their inflated sense of self. Moreover, narcissists possess a remarkable ability to rationalize their lies, convincing themselves and others of their version of reality. They weave elaborate narratives to justify their actions, often at the expense of truth and integrity. Confronting them with evidence to the contrary only fuels their determination to maintain their facade, leading to further distortion and manipulation. Attempting to extract the truth from a narcissist is an exercise in frustration, as they will go to great lengths to protect their carefully constructed illusion. They view honesty as a weakness to be exploited, rather than a virtue to be upheld. Consequently, engaging in honest dialogue with a narcissist often leads to gaslighting, manipulation, and emotional manipulation, leaving those around them questioning their own reality. To interact with them effectively, one must be prepared to confront their lies with unwavering resolve and hold them accountable for their deceitful behavior. 2. Anything involving giving credit to others. Narcissists view the world through a lens of self-aggrandizement and entitlement, making it challenging for them to acknowledge the contributions of others. They harbor a deep-seated belief in their own superiority and indispensability, viewing themselves as the sole architects of their success. Consequently, giving credit to others threatens their carefully curated image of grandiosity and self-importance. Moreover, narcissists operate from a scarcity mentality, believing that recognition and praise are finite resources to be hoarded at all costs. They fear that acknowledging others' achievements diminishes their own perceived importance, triggering feelings of envy, insecurity, and resentment. Consequently, they resort to tactics such as belittling, undermining, or outright denying the accomplishments of others to preserve their inflated ego. Attempting to elicit recognition or appreciation from a narcissist for the achievements of others is an exercise in futility, as they are fundamentally incapable of acknowledging anyone else's value. Their egocentric worldview precludes them from recognizing the contributions of others, leaving them blind to the collective efforts of those around them. In essence, giving credit to others is antithetical to the narcissistic mindset, which prioritizes self-aggrandizement and self-preservation above all else. One must be prepared to confront their refusal to acknowledge the achievements of others and assert the value of collaborative effort in spite of their resistance. 3. Anything involving failure or loss. Admitting failure or acknowledging loss is anathema to narcissists, who view themselves as invincible and infallible. Their inflated sense of self-importance and grandiosity leaves no room for vulnerability or imperfection. Consequently, they employ a variety of defense mechanisms to shield themselves from the harsh realities of failure, rejection, or defeat. One of the primary ways narcissists cope with failure is through the distortion of reality. They possess a remarkable ability to rationalize and reframe negative outcomes as triumphs or successes. Even in the face of overwhelming evidence of failure, they will go to great lengths to minimize or deny their shortcomings, often blaming external factors or shifting responsibility onto others. Narcissists engage in magical thinking, where they believe they are immune to the consequences of their actions. This delusional belief in their invincibility allows them to maintain their sense of superiority and infallibility, even when faced with repeated setbacks or failures. Rather than acknowledging their limitations or vulnerabilities, they double down on their facade of perfection, refusing to entertain any notion of defeat. Moreover, narcissists are highly averse to experiencing shame or humiliation, making them particularly resistant to acknowledging failure. They view any admission of weakness as a direct assault on their ego, triggering intense feelings of shame and inadequacy. Consequently, they will go to great lengths to avoid situations where they may be confronted with their failures, often resorting to manipulation or deception to maintain their facade of success. One must be prepared to confront their aversion to failure and hold them accountable for their actions, regardless of their attempts to evade responsibility. 4. Anything involving shame or vulnerability. Peeling back the layers of a narcissist's facade to reveal their vulnerabilities is akin to navigating a minefield. It's fraught with danger and uncertainty. Narcissists go to great lengths to conceal their insecurities and weaknesses, viewing any admission of vulnerability as a sign of weakness and inferiority. Consequently, they employ a variety of defense mechanisms to protect their fragile ego and maintain their facade of strength and invincibility. One of the primary ways narcissists shield themselves from shame or vulnerability is through projection. They project their own insecurities onto others, deflecting attention away from their shortcomings and onto those around them. By attributing their flaws to others, they avoid confronting their own inadequacies and preserve their illusion of superiority. Narcissists engage in blame shifting, where they assign responsibility for their mistakes or shortcomings to external factors or other individuals. Rather than accepting accountability for their actions, they deflect blame onto others, refusing to acknowledge their role in contributing to the situation. This allows them to maintain their facade of perfection and absolve themselves of any guilt or shame. Moreover, narcissists are highly skilled at manipulating others' perceptions of them, presenting a carefully curated image of strength and confidence to mask their inner insecurities. They go to great lengths to cultivate an aura of invincibility, projecting an image of success and superiority to conceal their vulnerabilities. By projecting confidence and self-assurance, they create a barrier that shields them from scrutiny and prevents others from seeing the truth behind their facade. Attempting to penetrate a narcissist's defenses and elicit genuine vulnerability is an uphill battle, as they will go to great lengths to preserve their illusion of strength and invincibility. Their aversion to shame and vulnerability stems from their deep-seated fear of rejection and inadequacy, which they perceive as threats to their fragile sense of self-worth. To interact with them effectively, one must be prepared to confront their defenses and challenge their facade of invincibility, regardless of their attempts to deflect or evade scrutiny. 5. Anything involving interpersonal relationships. Interpersonal relationships are fraught with challenges for narcissists, who struggle to form genuine connections due to their self-centeredness and lack of empathy. They view relationships as transactional and instrumental, devoid of emotional depth or genuine connection. Consequently, they struggle to maintain meaningful bonds with others, often resorting to manipulation or exploitation to satisfy their own needs. One of the primary reasons narcissists struggle in interpersonal relationships is their inability to empathize with others' experiences or emotions. They view relationships as a means to an end, seeking validation and admiration from others without reciprocating genuine care or concern. Consequently, they struggle to forge authentic connections with others, leading to shallow, superficial relationships based on mutual exploitation rather than genuine emotional intimacy. Narcissists possess an acute sensitivity to any perceived threat to their superiority or dominance in relationships. They view any suggestion of criticism or rejection as a direct assault on their ego, triggering intense feelings of insecurity and inadequacy. Consequently, they may resort to manipulation or coercion to maintain control over their relationships, ensuring their own needs are prioritized above all else. Narcissists exhibit a pattern of idealization followed by devaluation in their relationships, where they initially idolize and admire their partners before ultimately discarding them once they no longer serve their needs. This cycle of idealization and devaluation is driven by their insatiable need for validation and admiration, which they seek to fulfill through a series of short-lived, superficial relationships. Attempting to navigate interpersonal relationships with a narcissist is an exercise in frustration and disillusionment, as they lack the capacity for genuine emotional connection or empathy. Their self-centeredness and manipulative tendencies make it challenging to establish trust and mutual respect, leading to shallow, superficial relationships based on exploitation rather than genuine intimacy. Anything involving interpersonal relationships is fraught with challenges for narcissists, who struggle to form genuine connections due to their self-centeredness and lack of empathy. To interact with narcissists effectively, one must be prepared to confront their manipulative tendencies and prioritize their own emotional well-being above all else. Understanding these 5 core points help you in dealing with narcissists. Thanks for watching. Stay blessed.